Ooh, yeah. Freak out. Yeah, I'm looking right into the video scope, And this is Macho Man, #1 Macho Man impersonator, past, present, future, yeah. And I'm here to tell you, you are watching 49er Minded with Bashar. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Dig it?
49er Minded. It's not just a thought process, but a way of life. 49er Minded. 49er Minded. Can't shake it. It's 49er mind that I got. It's 49er shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco Super Bowl. Don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A red and gold session. I thought I read a gold obsession with some well-controlled expressions. Let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the spot? That's how it's been in the spot. Let's roll that back, all that crack, all that straight fumble sack. Or just dial it on up if you wanna talk smack. It don't matter what the storyline, as long as the story aligns with a 49er mind. 49er minded. It's not just a thought process, 49er minded, but a way of life. The Shard. 49er minded. Way of life. 49er minded.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to a Halloween edition of the Bring the Heat podcast on the 49er Minded channel, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. I am here with Ryan from No Border Sports. How you doing, Ryan?
What up?
All right. We're here on a Halloween Tuesday. On a Tuesday, we got our special guest today. Unfortunately, Mariah couldn't make it unless she somehow finds a way to make it later. She's got the link to jump on, but assuming if she doesn't, we know what's up. We know what she's dealing with. But we do have Dion from Niner Gang podcast here. Love to have you here, bro. You've been on here in the past, and it's been a while. I believe it's the first time during this actual season of games, when the games are being played, that we have been on here. So it's good to talk to you. There were some great things happening early in the season. Winning 5 games, and we were all smiles, and those things were beautiful and happy, and then some things changed, and that's how the NFL works sometimes. So there's a lot of unpredictability.
That's always how it works, man. It's just always going to be unpredictability when it comes to the league. But with us, we got some serious question marks. Shout out to Mariah for hitting that 3K on Twitter.
Okay. Shout out to Mariah.
Yeah,
that's more than I got.
So that's a nice big monumental moment.
Monumental.
But man, it's definitely going to be a very fun show.
And to make it even more fun, we got to say what's up to some people in the chat. We got there were some people waiting crazy early. We started a little bit later. I do apologize about that. But we got Andy Land, my former high school classmate there, saying what's up, saying yo, fired up 49ers, Bosa and Chase back together again. 49ers throwback. Thanks for joining, faithful. Make sure to smash that like button.
Throwback, my dog.
What up?
Bebop. And the Throwback's got a really cool Twitter page. You got to follow it. It's got all the great 49er archives of highlights and all that crazy stuff from the Montana days, Steve Young, Garcia, you name it. We got Fazil. I had the pleasure of meeting Fazil at the New York Giants game. First time I ever met him, and he hadn't been on my show before, actually. The first time I met him physically in person. Fazil says, let's go, Bashar. I met Dion before. I met Dion at the tailgate before one of the preseason games. Another person who I've met in real life, Brandon Ferreño, says, what's up, fan, for the Forever Faithful podcast. Great to have you here. We got Randy Daytona, says it's 49er Minded time on Halloween, baby. Let's go. Passing out the candy. Steve-O is here. What is Steve-O? And there's pasta fuzzy. That's an actual dish, actually. I had some pasta for dinner. Yeah. David Corona. What's up, everyone? 49ers all day. Yeah. I mean, what do you got? I mean, I guess we should talk about obviously this last game a little bit. The stinker that we had against the Cincinnati Bengals. Since it's the Bring the Heat podcast, there's plenty to talk about. Whoever wants to chime in first on their thoughts about the Cincinnati Bengal game, feel free, be my guest.
Dion, go ahead. You're the guest.
For me, that was an ass kicking that we deserved. We didn't come in there with a game plan to be able to beat the Bengals. We came in there just hoping and praying we could keep up. And I'm sorry, these last 3 games have been 17 straight fucking points. And Kyle, I'm going to need you to figure it out, sir. You need to figure out what's going on with the offense, because while, yes, we all understand Brock Purdy is technically speaking a rookie from time spent in the NFL and games played, he showed us all that Brock Purdy magic last year. Had us all believing in him. 5 games through this year, we felt great, 30 points. Moody didn't miss. Everything was running smooth. Now, Moody started missing kicks. We can't score more than 17, and we just seem to not have found our way. There's so many things going on, but the number one thing that I will state is stop overusing Christian McCaffrey. Good Lord. I get it. He's got a streak going. That's nice. But it seems like Christian McCaffrey is the only person who knows how to score on this offense. It seems like we just keep using him before we use anyone else. And for me, the biggest disappointment is you keep putting Elijah Mitchell back in there as if he's going to do something. Jordan Mason showed you in 2 straight games what he could do, averaging over 5 yards a carry, getting 2 touchdowns, 1 in each of those games, but somehow he's still relegated to special teams in the bench, and he's done that over a guy who can barely stay healthy, and whenever he comes in the game has no impact whatsoever. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is where Kyle irks my nerves. I get so tired of watching him stay so stagnant and stuck in his ways that he doesn't know how to evolve. And the problem is he has to. You don't have a choice. Teams figured it out. They watched what Cleveland did, and Minnesota did it, and so did Cincinnati. They just kept bringing the pressure. And Brock Purdy has regressed into Mr. 17. He was 30 Purdy for 5 games. Then he's 17 Purdy. And that's not cutting it. It's not going to allow us to be able to win. Our defense didn't look great at all. Isaiah Oliver, you need to go. Allowing 100% of your catches, letting Jamar Chase get behind you. All of these things that are happening, like, it's just not working. And the thing is, you got to shake things up. You have to change stuff. The number one thing that I noticed was they destroyed our zone defense. Destroyed it. They found every soft spot you could find. There were so many receivers wide open. They could have sat down, had dinner with their kids and wife, and then got up, caught the ball, and still ran for a couple extra yards. That's how much of a gap of space there was. So it's extremely frustrating when it goes on as far as that goes. Definitely, I'll let you know what I think about the Chase Young trade a little bit later, Rick. But,
we'll touch on that later, guys.
We'll touch on that later. But this past game, man, it was a disaster. These past 3 games have been a disaster. And I can tell you right now, if we don't get our heads screwed on straight after this bye week and come out firing on all cylinders, because we're going to face the Jags. They're currently what, 5-2, 6-2, something like that? They're winning. This isn't a Jags team that's weak. This isn't the Jags of old where, you can kind of just write them off. They're winning football games. And you go in there and doubt them if you want to, and we'll wind up getting 8 alive. Mooney, stop holding. Remember what you was taught when you were a child? Keep your hands to yourself. Don't do that. If you know that there's a guy that can beat you, give him 5 yards and make sure that he doesn't go anywhere, man. If anything, you force that dude to the sideline. Make him step out. You know why? Because he can't be the quarterback's first read now. If you step out of bounds, when you come back in, you cannot be the first person to touch the ball. That's just NFL rules. So, force him out. Do something. Jam him at the line. I don't care. But this the way we're going.
You can't jam him at the line if
work.
the defensive scheme isn't calling for that.
Yeah, and I mean, but they got to figure out something. Somebody's got to do something. I mean, at some point, you have to start going off script and saying, you know what, this shit ain't working. I'm going to figure it out on my own.
I thought
but
Steve
that's
Wilkes
just my
was the
thought.
press man type of guy, and we are getting nothing but soft, cushiony zones.
Yep.
I'm not. Where are we at? I was all excited for press man, especially with Travarius Ward. I don't know if it's this how Steve Wilkes is running things, or if Travarius Ward is on the decline. But I am not liking what I see from Travarius Ward this year. I don't have confidence in it. I know we're paying him money. I'm not like people were asking, let's get a cornerback. I'm thinking like, man, I think we're okay with everybody else on the team minus Travarius Ward and Oliver. Maybe Travarius Ward and Oliver. And I think we didn't look at cornerback because I think Steve Wilkes was like, no, we got everybody that we need. It's just he's not using people correctly. Like, we have seen our linebacker blitz show really nothing. Our linebackers aren't getting home when we're blitzing. So let's blitz from the nickel position. Let's do something, or safety in certain situations. But let's do something else. Instead of blitzing with the linebackers, let's fake like we're going to blitz with the linebackers and then drop back into coverage like we're great at doing and we've seen us do. Killed Dallas and CeeDee Lamb with that shit in the playoffs last year. Now, we'll have to still blitz sometimes every once in a while to keep them 100% and keep them honest. But like, why are there's so many things we could be doing? There's no dynamic scheme for the pass rush up front. It's all just like beat the man in front of you. Go, you're a pro, go out and beat the man in front of you. No, let's get these athletes out there with a scheme that puts them with more leverage on than the offensive line, and let's get them to go eat. It's not about letting guys just, be man wreckers. It's about making these schemes easy so anybody can win, right? And then having these gifted players in those positions to make sure you get home every play. That's what it is. You make it so scheme so you got people off the street can run it. It's easy. It'll work for them. And then you get all pros to do it and you see production out of it.
Now, one thing I do want to address really quick before you go, Bashar. A lot of people are saying ditch the wide nine. People, this wide nine been here since John Lynch and Steve and Kyle Shanahan had gotten here. This is not a new thing from Steve Wilkes. So if you're blaming the wide nine on Steve Wilkes, I need you to stop. The reason for the wide nine is Chris Kasarik. The reason for the wide nine is Robert Saleh. It's been here. So if you're saying ditch it, you weren't saying that a couple years ago when it was working. Don't blame that on Steve Wilkes. That's all I'm going to say. The wide nine is not him. That was Chris Kasarik and Robert Saleh and DeMeco Ryans. That had nothing to do with Steve Wilkes. That's all I'm saying.
And with the wide nine, it's more susceptible to the run. But with the personnel that we've always kept on the team, like Eric Armstead and Nick Bosa with the ends, we're able to stop the run, not the last couple weeks, you know what I mean? But we're able to stop the run to the point where we can be one of the best run stuffing defenses in the league with a defensive line that is lined up, that is more susceptible to the run. And it's with the linebackers and our defensive linemen and how they play that we can get away with that. So there's no reason to throw the wide nine. People talked about it here and there. They didn't like it, when the quarterbacks were running all up on us all the time.
Like last game? Like last game?
Well, no, about 2 years ago, it was really bad. You know what I mean? It was really bad. They were getting almost 80 yards on us, 60 to 80 yards on us, just running on us. And people were talking that was the wide nine because we were going too much around and just opening up the middle, which we still can't figure out how to just have a spy. Like, what if we just put in 5 linemen, right? 5 down linemen, and 4 of them rush, and the other guy just stands there, and his job is to hopefully keep an offensive lineman, in his vicinity, so somebody else can make a move and spy the quarterback,
or just run the 5-2. That would make sense.
The 5-man front's nice. The bear front. I was going to say that. Did you guys know
I don't
that?
like I don't like a 5-2 when you're talking about maybe in passing situations on certain long downs. So I would subject,
Yeah, we wouldn't do
go
it
to
on
like
for the run. That's what I
5-1.
on the early downs. I said, did you guys know that the
Yeah, on
Bengals
the
have
early
offensive line
downs, no,
coach?
we're good.
Did you know that
On
the
early
Bengals
downs,
were
I don't
running?
know why we're not doing that more. Sorry.
You guys hear me, dude?
What did you say?
Yeah.
Did you guys know that the Bengals were running wide splits with their offensive line to circumvent whatever we had going on with the wide nine? So that may have worked. But honestly, you mentioned quarterbacks running it. It was pissing me off like beyond belief when Burrow we'd make him look like Lamar Jackson at times. It was so painful to watch, man. And then I don't know what we're doing with our run defense. Our run defense is just killing me these days. And Joe Mixon was showboating when he ran that little touchdown to the left hand side. And I don't know, man. This defense is way better than what they showed this last week. And Shanahan's got to sit down with him, and all the other coaches got to regroup and do a lot of soul searching and get things right, man. It's silly.
If they're using wide splits to kind of use the wide nine to kind of give our pass rushers more ground to cover, then we should just kind of figure out what wide nine is, because they're all going to have to scrunch back anyways to some certain form. So why not just know exactly where it's at? If you want to come out do wide splits, that's cool, but you're going to have to run back to that point right there, and I'm still going to take my path around you. So maybe that's the way to counteract that. I don't know, because in the run game, you get those bigger splits. Normally, when you're running the ball, you got a bigger split in between you. And if you have too big of splits, though, a linebacker is going to get in there somehow. So I don't think they were doing it on rundowns too much. You know what I mean? Too exaggerated. It was probably just in passing downs to kind of keep the defensive ends farther out and give themselves more time.
Yeah. And one thing about the scheme, I don't know what it was this game. I mean, this is the first game I can recall where I saw Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner, especially on passing downs, looking completely out of place. Anytime a ball was thrown in their area, they were like, both players were like 5 yards away of where they were supposed to be in regards to who was open in that area. It was just like, I don't know whose fault it was, or if we're just calling up we're dialing up the wrong plays. But I'm not used to seeing Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, play like, chase people down 10 yards down the field. They're usually stopping people and hitting people or batting passes down.
Yeah, and it seemed like times before pre-snap that they were confused. You know what I mean? Or like maybe the formation wasn't confused, but they were trying to figure out what kind of adjustment he needed to make.
A lot of it is just
that's not
the wide nine. The number one issue with the wide nine is it's susceptible to runs up the gut. So if you attack the middle, because of the way that the defensive ends are lined up on the outside shoulders of the tackles, and the guard and the defensive tackles are lined up on the outside shoulders of the guards, that leaves that gut wide open. But that's where your linebackers are supposed to be able to close that gap. And if anybody tries to penetrate that, then they should be able to stop it. But at the end of the day, the pass rush needs to get home. That's one of our biggest problems. They're not getting home. And, a lot of people will always talk about pressure this, pressure that. Pressure busts pipes. But pressure don't create no goddamn sacks. And that's my frustration. I don't care about pressures. I don't care about, the fact that so-and-so has a bunch of pressures. Pressure don't mean nothing if it ain't creating no turnovers. If you're not creating any sacks, if there's not
that's the big thing.
We do force turnovers, though. We do force turnovers.
Well,
that's one thing we do.
But our pressures aren't turning into turnovers. The turnovers we're getting are, I think, more off of bad plays by quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily high pressure moments that I'm seeing or that I remember. Mm-hmm. I think we're last year we were getting pressure and we were getting turnovers off of that pressure. We can all remember that. We were like, oh, we almost got him, and interception. You know what I mean? Like, we remember that last year. We are not getting that this year. We're getting people get the ball off. What we're doing is getting like a lot. How many of our interceptions been tipped in one form or way? A few of them
here and there.
Like, I can't.
I'm still mad that we didn't get that. I'm still mad that they took that fumble away from us. So,
that was dumb.
That was a fucking game changer right there, dude.
That to me, like, the refs fucked up big last night. They called, so who was it? Ball carrier goes into a big huge pile, and who was it? Somebody ripped the ball out. Right? Oh, it was what's his name? Crosby for the
That's
Raiders.
Crosby on the Raiders.
Rips the ball out. He's got the ball, and he's like this. They called the play dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they called the play dead. They're looking around. Next thing you know, he's got the ball in the hand, right? So they're like, what do you guys got? I guess he's got the ball, so it must be a fumble. So they're like, okay, it's a fumble, right? And then you go back to when they watch the tape. Now you can't find anything that says, oh, he's down at this moment, right? But his body is like this to the ground from what you can see. And it's like, okay, you can't see his body touching the ground because there's a leg right here.
Mm-hmm.
But what is connected to the rest of the body that you can't see? His body, where is it? Is it like this? No, it's like this. You know what I'm saying? It's touching the fucking ground. You can't fit another person underneath there for him to be knocked down by contact at this point in time. And so they can't overturn it. So because they made a shitty call on the field because somebody's dangling a fucking ball in the air, they return it, and then they can't fucking make a better call because you have to have enough evidence, overwhelming evidence to overturn it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here you are. You called yourself into a shitty fucking call that you had to fucking double down on. The league is fucking in trouble right now with some of these refs.
Now there's
If the Bengals only get one call and we're penalized 5 times, but then our D linemen are getting held. I'm not saying that's the sole reason why we lost. I'm just saying that it can't be that there has to be somewhat of a balance. I mean, what's this ridiculousness?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably literally holding on almost every play. It just doesn't get called. There were 2 calls that were very similar. When we got that BS call on Happy Halloween to everybody out there in the chat.
Yes, sir. Happy Halloween to everybody.
When we had the hit
Randy
that they called a penalty on Gibson for when he led with the shoulder. You know who else just got that? Shiloh Sanders in the UCLA game versus Colorado. Man led with the shoulder. There was nothing malicious about it. He just made a play.
I posted it on Twitter, and everybody kept telling me it was a helmet to helmet.
Yeah, and they
everybody
kept down. I watched that replay like 10 times. I'm like, he didn't hit him. I am never one to like a penalty just because it's going in favor of my team. I don't do that. I'm not that guy. I feel like it's BS. But Jim Everett the Great was in here, running his mouth as always. Your Rams lost too. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Matthew Stafford's out for a couple of weeks with that busted thumb. He ain't spinning the football with no thumb. You can't do that. It's just not possible. So you come in here and say whatever you want about my squad, but y'all lost too. Okay. So don't make it seem like you was out there winning while you come in here and tell me about my O-line and my DBs. Worry about your own problems in Ramland. First of all, worry about figuring out how to get your stadium to not have AI people sitting in the spots and pumping in crowd noise when we come down there and keep kicking your teeth in. Get that handled first, and then there you go. Ripping who the heck is that? I need you to explain who this dude is and what he's supposedly about to do. Because he ain't gonna do a damn thing. Matthew Stafford with a busted hip and a broken thumb is better than whoever that dude is. You just
talking about Mark Rippon for the Washington Redskins?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. But I think Stafford honestly is injured. He messed his thumb up the last game. But honestly, the hard part for us is figuring out what the problem is. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if we have another game of just 17 points or even less than that, I'm going to start to believe this is who Brock Purdy really was, and he lied to us, and he played us. He had us thinking he was great, and the next thing you know, he's showing us who he truthfully is, and is showing us why he was a 7th-round pick, and the last pick in the draft. And look at that. That's a great comment. Shout out Drew Down. You know what I'm saying, if y'all know about that.
Drew Down.
But that's basically what it is, man. It kills me at the fact that they don't have that dog in them anymore. Like the first 5 weeks, defense was on fire. You couldn't stop the offense. We were doing everything we needed to. And then it just seemed like once we came to Cleveland, they figured out, all we got to do is just send more people and that O-line will fold. Okay. And everybody's doing it. I do not doubt one bit that the Jags are going to do anything different than Cleveland, Minnesota, and Cincinnati just did.
They're a formidable opponent. They've only lost twice, and they've been putting up a lot of points.
They're not playing no game. Yeah, the Jags are not playing no games. Yeah. Sunshine out there really showing some sunshine.
But I'll give you my 2 cents about Purdy. I still think I still think he's pretty good. I still think he's better than Jimmy. I think he's a few notches better than Jimmy. Now he's hit a slump. The first time he's really faced some adversity in his career, so we'll find out how he bounces back. I have a good feeling that he will bounce back properly, but a lot of people are doubting him because he threw some picks. The game was on the line, and just things didn't go as planned. The first time around against the Cleveland Browns, he brought us down to where we could have won, but Moody is a rookie kicker, so that happened there. But I mean, even this past game though, I saw a lot of really good from Brock. I mean, right before the half, it just sucked though. We had terrible field position at the 3-yard line. But he was aerating out. He was launching that ball downfield, man. He was just hitting Kittle with some deep shots. He hit Ayuk down the field for some 15, 20 yarders multiple times. I mean, he was getting the ball downfield a whole lot. It's just that there would just be these obstacles in the way. Maybe penalties here, or that stupid when we were right down the score that before the half, obviously, it was a time management type of thing. We had terrible field position. We moved up, tried to get a field goal, and then we ran a play to CMC where he was still not in the middle of the field, but he was nowhere near the sideline. It would have been nicer if we ran a play where somebody towards the sidelines at least, but we didn't, and then the time expired, which sucked. We lost out on a scoring opportunity there. So just when we were nearby to score a touchdown, I think they said in the presser that I don't know who messed up the handoff. If anybody's in the chat, they can remind me of who messed up the handoff. But that was supposed to be a handoff to Mitchell, I believe, and either Mitchell messed up or Purdy messed up. Somebody in the presser said who messed up. Either way, when I saw the play, I was like, "How is this who would call such a stupid pass play where both running backs run the same damn route? That doesn't make sense." So it was basically a broken. It was a broken play. It was a broken play. It wasn't supposed to be a pass, and it just sucked because we were right there to score a damn touchdown. And then lo and behold, the same one, even with that, then he throws a pick on the next play to Ayuk. And it was almost a similar thing because there was another receiver, it might have been Jawan Jennings, who was further ahead on Ayuk. But the play was drawn out where both guys pretty much ran the same route, but one guy ran it about 5 yards deeper than the other. And it just wasn't a good play call, in my opinion. But I think that he got picked up. He threw the interception. I get it. But I just see a whole lot more in good than bad than Brock. I mean, if he's going to slump and have some losing games, it happens in the NFL, and he just showed us a whole lot of good, though. I mean, a lot of really nice things. So I definitely think if Jimmy G was in there this whole time, I definitely think we'd be seeing we'd lose more. We'd lose more games. So
it would be the same. It would be the same thing, and that look. I'm gonna pray for Devontae Adams. He over there pissed off. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
he's slamming his helmet down and
I feel bad for this dude. That dude is upset. He's crying. And I do believe the Raiders should do that man a solid and let him get up out of there. But
thank you so much, True. So it was Purdy that messed up the handoff.
They can't now.
I knew somebody messed that up.
Yeah. So but the issue is for me with Purdy right now is the turnovers. Like that 1 TD, 2 interception, we saw that a lot with Mr. Garoppolo. And nobody wants to see that crap again. I'm not feeling comfortable with that as far as that goes. I get it. Turnovers happen and whatnot, but Brock has been accurate. He's been very, very, very accurate the whole time he's been playing. He wasn't a turnover machine. He would make some throws that would make you go, oh snap. But these last 3 games, I've seen a lot of Jimmy Garoppolo instead of Brock Purdy. And I mean that based off of the turnovers. I mean that he threw Kittle a hospital ball in that Minnesota game.
I saw that.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's things that are starting to show through, which is why you don't want people like Jimmy around your quarterbacks because then the stupidness rubs off. And I'm not saying that's happening to Brock, but to be honest with you, I just feel like I'm starting to see less and less of the greatness and more of frustration and him not being able to get things done. I just don't. I don't want him to wind up regressing so much that it costs us the season. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if we don't get to the playoffs, or if we get to the playoffs and we wind up getting put out in the first round, then I'm gonna openly just state Kyle Shanahan looks like a dumbass. Because you did all this talk, all this shit talking. You know what everybody told me when we traded Trey Lance? Oh, we're a win now team. We don't have time to wait for him to develop. So we got time for Brock Purdy to fuck up for 3 games straight. We got time for that, but we're a win now squad. So we have time for that. We don't have time for Trey Lance to develop, for him to have the same kind of mistakes that Brock Purdy would have had, for him to do different things. We don't have time for that. We have time for Brock Purdy to fuck up. Like that, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, it just doesn't look right. And I honestly I'm worried that this is a slippery slope, and this is a really unfortunate series of events, and I don't want this to be a bad thing. Like, we've got to. Are we at home, or are we going to Jacksonville?
I believe we're going to Jacksonville. I'll say this though, I'm not as worried as some people might be, and I get it. When you lose 3 in a row, there's cause for concern. I get that part. I mean, I'm not gonna put all this on those guys being out, but you know, Trey Williams and
what would you deem a regression in Symmetry? You're saying 3 bad games out of 17 is a regression. What would you deem a regression then? Because these last 3 games, Brock Purdy has not looked like the Brock Purdy that we've all seen for those games prior to that. So I need you to explain to me what you would deem a regression, because I'm sorry, when you have more interceptions than you do touchdowns, there's a problem. That's happened for 3 games straight. This is not okay. And that's my biggest issue. People are making it okay. We rolled Jimmy Garoppolo into the ground when he screwed up. So why is Brock Purdy getting a fucking pass? What's the difference? It's the same shit.
I'll say now. I remember what I was going to say about Purdy. All right, I get it. You're passionate about this. I totally get it. I still see a lot. I still have a lot of hope in Purdy. I mean, it was a losing effort. I get it, but like I said, he's not. Some people on my last show were saying all he did was do yak yards type throws last game. Well, no, he was throwing the ball down the field. They weren't just yak yards. But I'll say, Jimmy, a lot of it was yak when he was putting up yards, right? So he's throwing across the field, throwing the whole route, thrown to the whole route tree, much more so than Jimmy has. So I just see more confidence with his body language on the field. When I watch him, he doesn't make me nervous. He knows how to scramble out of the pocket. His awareness is a whole lot better than what we had with Jimmy. And he's learning to run down the field and get first downs. Now he needs to start sliding. That would help. But what I like about it more so than what I'm seeing on the field is he takes accountability in the press conferences. He says he has to get better. He has the right mindset, which is why I'm not really so worried about him. There's plenty of good quarterbacks throughout their careers, especially early in their careers. He's only 23 years old, who've had their slumps, who've hit a lot of bumps in the roads, who've lost games. I saw Steve Young do it plenty, and a whole bunch of other quarterbacks are doing it. And it sucks when 3 in a row is a scary feeling. I get it, man. We're playing a good team. I just personally feel confident about it. I mean, I'm not telling you guys have to feel the same way I feel about it. This is long overdue. Let me just say, do some shout outs, because a lot of people jumped in on the chats, and I don't want to feel like I'm leaving them hanging or anything like that. Some people dropped a lot of cool comments, and for the most part, I'm looking at names of people that I did shout out. But really quick, I gotta scroll up and see a lot of names here. Who was here? Danielle is up in here. Danielle says, "What up, family?" Got Rick Diaz. If I didn't shout you out, I got you now, bro. Randy Dutton, I'm pretty sure I got you. Interesting name, Tacky Wacky says, "I'm wearing the same costume." Okay, that's interesting. Here. Yeah, I saw Symmetry's here. He's got some really good comments. Says great trade today. Says Chase gonna fit this front so well. We'll get into that pretty soon once we're done with these comments. Red Jet says, "Happy Halloween. Good to see you." She likes the wig. Thank you very much. Who else is up here? Jim Everett's just causing a ruckus in the chat. It's being Jim Everett, doing Jim Everett things. We got Channel 49 says, "Jimmy G, 10-year contract, baby." And him and I have this inside joke. Ever since when Jimmy G was playing, he was always jumping in my chat saying that and just having this little inside joke, running joke or whatever. What's up here? Fired up 49er said, "What's up to you?" There you go. I'm gonna see if I got any. Oh, Master of Any Craft. I knew I was missing somebody. A good friend of mine who's been on my show once. He said, "Bashar going to the disco." I got the thug comment about my costume, Compton thug. I got the disco thing. Whatever you guys want to make of it. It's just me throwing on some shades and afro and my 49er Sacramento faithful. I'm bling in the shirt too. So doing a little matching job right there. Brandon said, Kyle went away from the run. We can't do that. We do need to run the ball more. Kyle's offense for the longest time has been predicated on the run. I totally agree. And I do like the fact that Purdy has brought the added dimension to his game. Because last year, a lot of people saying all he did was dink and dunk. And I saw him throwing some intermediate throws last year, but this year he took it to where he's throwing the ball a bit deeper downfield now. We just have to put it all together where there's less carelessness. The accuracy is usually there with Brock. Just some costly interceptions that sucked. I understand. In the heat of the moment, things we got to fix. Hopefully, he fixes it. That's all we got. And he takes accountability. So we'll see. Dan, what up? Dan, good friend of mine says, Steve Wilkes is assassinating our defense from the booth. Yeah, they're probably, it sounds like they're just going to throw his ass on the sidelines. And at first I thought, like, why would it make a difference if he's comfortable up there? But you know what? If it's not working, let's make you uncomfortable. Let's make you uncomfortable, because if you're up there being comfortable, that means we're comfortable with losing fucking 3 games in a row. So let's make you uncomfortable. And then people said it best, let him communicate on the sidelines with people, and then maybe the communication with the players on the sidelines. Now people are saying, oh, he's got to be this rah guy. Like, if that's not him, it's not him. But at least the communication aspect, I totally get it. Because Sarek is the most rah, one of the most rah guys in the league.
That guy doesn't even have a voice
I do like
90% of the time when he even talks. So Throwback was saying, why is nobody talking about the O-line? We already know the O-line played like shit these past few games.
But I'll say this,
been the ones getting killed. That's the hard part. And honestly, it's the worst part is we get Trent back, but we lose Aaron Banks. So I don't know who the hell is going to replace Aaron Banks. And that's going to
turf toe.
Oh yeah, turf
toe.
Yeah. We lost him for a couple weeks to turf toe. Sim, I do want you to tell me what you would consider a regression, because I'm sorry, three bad games in a row, that's not good. I don't know. I need you to give me a proper explanation of what you feel a true regression is, because the guy did give us a peak. He went on that streak where he just was not losing from last year. And the only reason he lost in the NFC Championship game is because Hassan Reddick ripped his arm off. But after that, he came right back. He still kept winning. So I need you to give me a proper explanation of what you consider a regression. Because if he loses this 4th game in a row, is that not a regression? Like, I don't get it. I mean, the confusion for me is me personally, I don't feel like a 3-game losing streak and more interceptions than touchdowns is okay. And everybody's saying, well, it's not a regression and I'm not worried.
Well,
I don't know how no one's worried. Like, what the fuck? Like, this dude is not performing the way that he used to. This is not good. Like, how are we not worried about him? Just
go ahead. Right, that's what
I don't know.
So,
let's hear right now.
To me, his inaccuracies are bigger than his interceptions the last game, essentially. He's missing people behind. He's missing people high. Those behind, those both can be interceptions real easy. Okay. But what they're doing is they're causing our offense to stop in the middle of the drive. It's causing us to go not be able to move down the field to where we can even get field goals, much less put the ball in the end zone. So to me, I think his inaccuracies are a bigger deal than the turnovers that we got essentially in this one game. If he gives up an interception once every 2 games, I'm okay with that.
He's giving up an interception 3 games straight.
I understand this.
Once every 2 games.
But how many interceptions did he give up?
I'm just stating facts.
How many interceptions did he give up before these last 3 games?
I don't think he did.
He did. I know he threw an interception in the Raiders game last year, and I believe that was the last interception he had thrown.
Yeah.
Up until the first game we lost this season.
Man.
It was the one in the Raider game.
This
where he tried to
last
throw it to
game is the
Kittle.
one this last game is the one I'm really looking at, because the one a game, and when it was a bad game already, right? It's a bad game. You're gonna get that in bad games. You know what I mean? It's this last one where it was like he didn't see it, and it was the same kind of play, same situation. I understand what he was talking about and what he saw, but we got to figure this out, you know, because everybody else is going to do the same thing that guy did. They're just going to turn their hips one way and then go the other. You know what I mean? Like, so we gotta nip this in the butt. It's what it is. So
I hear where you're coming from, Symmetry. You're saying he hasn't played long enough for us to technically judge him. Here's my rebuttal to that. I thought we were a win now team. We got to win now. We have a win now squad. All this other shit said at the beginning of the season.
So who are we trading for?
Games, we have not been a win now shit. We have been a lose team. That's all I'm saying. So for me, no, I don't. And fired up 49ers, I don't hate Brock Purdy. I'm not stating that I hate him. Everything I've told you is nothing but facts. So please tell me where I've lied. The man has thrown more interceptions than he has touchdowns in the last 3 games. Is that not a fact? Yes, it is. Has there been some confusion? And has there been some bad throws? Yes, there have been. I'm not stating this is who Purdy is for the rest of the season. I'm just saying, yeah, there's a problem in the building if this is going to continue. If we have another shitty game versus the Jags and that man throws another 2 interceptions, I'm really ready and waiting for everybody to come back and keep giving him a pass and saying, well, he hasn't played. We just have to let this play out. But I thought we were win now. And that's my biggest issue. A lot of the fans jumped on that win now bullshit train, and everybody was happy about that and all this other stuff. But we were win now, win now, win now. And we start losing, and everybody's like, oh, well, let's just give Purdy a pass. You know, it's not a big deal. We jumped on Trey's neck. We jumped on Jimmy's neck. Why is Purdy being freed of that?
I don't know if it's like, I'm not giving him a pass. What I'm saying is we don't have a clear pattern of this last game, you know, coming now. To be totally honest, the whole team has looked like shit for the last 3 games. So him being off too is product also of his environment. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say that's all of it, but you got to understand too, when your receivers are off, when your offensive line is off, how can you get on? You can't, because there's no sort of anything you can grab a hold to and go, I can guarantee this will be here every time when I need it, because there's nothing like that. And
let me say what's up to some people.
We're in a situation. You said win now. Yes, it's win now. Right. And I totally get what you're trying to say. You know what I mean? I didn't like to see Trey Lance treated this way and just kind of tossed by the wayside. You can go back. I've got hours of me talking about how his development was mismanaged by Kyle. But like saying that now, it's like, well, what are we going to do? So like, if you're like, hey, it's win now. Okay, right. But the trade deadline just passed. So who we getting? I don't think Sam Darnold's the one. And is it Brandon Allen? Because right now we got Brock, Sam, and Brandon Allen.
Yeah.
And
like, I'm not stating in any way, shape, or form to go away from Brock Purdy. I'm saying I'm worried. Legit, I'm worried. I don't like what I'm seeing these last 3 games. And Symmetry, yes, it's not hard to comprehend being win now and Brock hasn't played long enough. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm stating the quarterback does not look great right now. And that is a problem. He drives our offense. So if he doesn't look good, our offense don't look good. And that's a problem, because our offense is going to be the one to help us to win games. So that shouldn't be hard for anyone else to comprehend. Okay, that's all I'm stating. It's a simple fact that he's the guy, and right now, he ain't looking like the guy. And I'm worried about that. You know what I'm saying? And
also, let me say one thing.
We can't talk about Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes, as you said earlier, Sim is an alien. That dude does things that he shouldn't do, and literally all he needs is Travis Kelce. I feel like if he didn't have Travis Kelce, we might see a different Patrick Mahomes. But it seems
Dude,
like with Travis Kelce, he just continues to keep on going.
On the Pat McAfee show today, they were talking about, come on, Raiders, do him a solid, trade him to a good team so you're not wasting, generational talent. And they were like, what if he went to Kansas City? What if he went to Kansas City? And I was like, oh my God, shut up. That's like, that's an automatic Super Bowl.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Automatic Super Bowl.
Here's my argument for not. I know every season's different, every team's different. I get it. It's a different scenario. But here's my argument for not necessarily. We don't have to hit the panic button just yet. And I know, even though Purdy threw for 365 yards, a lot of people were, 22 for 31. Again, the INTs and not piecing drives together and not scoring the touchdowns. I get all that. He definitely could have had a better game in these past 3 games. I understand that, even the last one. But I witnessed. Okay, I went to the game in 2011, the Jim Harbaugh team against the New York Giants in the regular season. The 49ers beat the Giants at Candlestick. That same Giants team, just to remind everybody, was the one that beat us in that stupid Kyle Williams game that I attended as well. So I went to both those games. And that team won the Super Bowl. Just a reminder about that team. They lost 6 games in a row in the regular season. They were 9-7, and they somehow, some way put things together, got out at the right time. And, unfortunately, we were the victims of it. But, they went to the promised land and they won it all. So a three-game losing streak, I get it. It sucks. It's terrible. It's shitty. Whatever you may call it, but I just think we had way too much. What's that? Oh, yeah, we had way too much talent on the squad to not overcome it, though. And I've seen Kyle. Remember when we hit that low point? Not last year, but one of the last years with Jimmy. Second to last year with Jimmy, when we lost to the Titans, and people were panicking that we lost that game, and then we started winning games again, and there's these bumps in the road that we tend to encounter. But for some reason, the Kyle Shanahan teams, for the most part, in the regular season, we find a way to work around it, and when it comes to playoff times, we're challenging again. So, just throwing that out there, man.
They should remake the movie Misery and have Kyle Williams play the lead, and make him do method acting.
I saw it.
Man, why you doing like that, man? Kyle Williams don't deserve that.
Because he deserves it. He deserves it.
That man had to move out of California. Like he has
as right he should. The hell was he thinking of breathing the air after that? Fuck.
Here's a hot take. Some people may.
Man, I don't want to hear that, bro. I'm not. And people in the chat, let me explain something to you. I'm not on that. We should have kept. It is what it is with Trey Lance. I can care less. It happened. It's done. It's over with. No one cares. At the end of the day, I do not like losing 3 consecutive games and us looking bad while doing it. At least if we would have been competitive in these 3 games where we lost,
right,
it wouldn't be so bad. But we weren't competitive. Our O-line looked like shit. The defense can't figure out what the fuck is going on. And our quarterback is throwing in more interceptions than he's throwing touchdowns. All of these things are a problem. And yes, we seem to usually wind up figuring it out. But at the end of the day, once again, at least be competitive when you're losing. At least if you try, you try. I can't blame Cleveland on him because he put us in position, and Moody just missed the kick, man. It is what it is. And then I think Brandon was the one who showed me on our show that the wind shifted it a few. But honestly, I don't like the way Moody kicks, because when he kicks, it looks like he's always gonna hook the shit outside. I don't know what his kicking style is, but I don't know. I don't like it. It's just weird to me. But we made a move today, fellas. And we made one move. I believe somebody said that we were supposed to we almost had Adoree Jackson, but the Giants didn't report it to the NFL.
It wasn't, but it wasn't 100% confirmed in terms of who the source was either, though.
No,
but it may. But you're right, though. In those cases, the team who has the player is the one who submits the paperwork or submits whatever they have to the league, and they said it fell out and they didn't have enough time or whatever. I'm not sure. You guys can go ahead for a minute. I'm gonna when you guys are done, I'm gonna do a couple more shout outs, and I'm gonna bring up this poll we have really quick. I want to bring up Silverado Kev from Real Talk Niner Talk. Says Wilkes. He's a defensive coordinator for the Pop Warner leagues, I believe. If he's still doing that, I know he's done in the past. Says Wilkes. I met another guy who I met in person, by the way. Says Wilkes, this secondary needs to tighten up the soft coverage zones and the tackling. We're not using any built-in checks, auto switches. Tell him, DD coordinator. I don't even know what Banjo calls it. Namely, in a man versus stacked alignment, NGO now. Nari gang over everything. Yeah, you tell him, man. See, we said Banjo call. The first thing I thought of Banjo was the Banjo Man. Before Banjo Man. So,
well, no, we can't put him on the field. We'll really be out there getting killed.
You guys can go ahead and take over for a little bit. I'm just going to set up this poll really quick.
Go ahead. So,
but let's talk about Chase Young, man. We got a brand new pass rusher for Washington Commanders. I think it's a great deal. I'll put in my 2 cents. You guys go first, though.
Go ahead, Ryan, because I'm not as sold as everyone else.
I think we're kind of close to each other, but I think you're a little lower than I am. On paper, I don't think it necessarily moves the needle as far as fixing what is the problem with our defense right now. I think the solution to our defense is in the room, been in the room for years, and it's just playing good complementary football, doing your fucking job and doing it at a high caliber. And for some reason, everybody's off. I think Steve Wilkes is changing something up instead of using like the same like base defense that we always used to do. I think he's changing something up, and that is causing our guys to kind of they're not playing as fast because they're having to think more. So I don't think this moves the needle, but this is what I hear. Ted told me this, and I believe it's true. If we don't sign Chase Young next year, we end up getting a 3rd round comp essentially back. So right now we're renting Chase Young for less than $600,000. He's got 5 sacks on the season. If our defense can pull their heads out of their asses, and I don't mean to really say that, but it kind of gotta, you know what I mean? That's kind of where it is right now.
Oh, that is where it is.
And if they were to get, all going in sync, and he continues with 5 sacks through the rest of the year, and how many ever pressures, I think we would be the most devastating D-line in all of NFL. And I think we could probably fix a lot of our woes on the back end with what pass rush we would now get, as long as we start using some dynamic rushes up front instead of just fucking line up from the guy across from you and fucking work your magic, bro. You know what I mean? Like, fuck.
Go ahead, Dion.
So, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, okay? I'm going to say
Downer.
Dion Downer. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. Let me explain something to you, people. There's a reason why I don't care for Chase Young. First season, the man had 15 games. He had 7.5 sacks as a 2nd overall pick in 2020. Nice. You know what he's done since then? Nothing. His next season, only played 9 games, only had 1.5 sacks. In 2022, he only played 3 games, didn't have any sacks. And in this year, he's played 7 games, and he does have 5 sacks. Here's the problem. I feel like everybody forgets the shit that happened since this regime has been here, and everybody gets enamored with the now, and they forget the fact that since John and Kyle have been here, we have been in the top 10 of most injured teams in the NFL consistently. They forget that John Lynch likes to pick up injury-prone players. Chase Young has not played a full season of football in his career, period. The last 2 seasons before this one, he only played 12 games total. So forgive me if I'm not overjoyed with the fact that Chase Young is here. Okay, you got 5 sacks. Nice, you're reunited with Bosa. Big fucking whoop. Show me on the field, and then I'll believe. I am not a person to just jump on the gravy train for somebody that just has not shown me enough. I'm sorry, you could barely stay on the field. and I'm supposed to jump for joy because you here now? I don't know how you're going to work out. Our defense has been playing like shit the last 3 games. I don't know if that's going to help anything. And forgive me for not being the most overly optimistic person, but with what we put out the last 3 games, I do not know if Chase Young is going to make that any better. Does it give us another viable threat off the edge? Yes. But my thing is, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the body of work. And I think a lot of people get caught up in the now. So that's why everybody gets happy and is like, oh, my God, we got Chase Young. Yeah, we got Ohio State on the edges. Oh, we got Armstead in the middle and Hargrave here. And yeah. I'm sorry, has there been a season where Chase Young has been so overly spectacular that he's been talked about as Defensive Player of the Year? No.
Now, wait.
Nick Bosa did come off a Defensive Player of the Year just last year.
Right.
He had 18.5 sacks. Right. Chase Young doesn't even have that in total in his career.
What did Nick Bosa do last year? What did Nick Bosa do last year trying to get a contract?
He balled out.
Yeah. And now we got Chase Young for $600,000. We don't even have to pay him if he balls out. We don't have to pay the
I'm not complaining about anything that we gave up. I'm not complaining about the money that we had. I'm not complaining about that.
He's a hungry man trying to eat, and that might play to our favor.
Well, the key word there is might. You know what I'm saying? And Sim, I know you looking at me, Sim, like, damn, bro. And everybody's like, folks can't be excited. But what are you excited for? That's my thing. Think beyond the moment now and look at everything and understand it. Everybody's like, okay, low risk, high reward. What high reward? Those 5 sacks were with Washington. Does he have 5 sacks with us yet? No, he hasn't even played a game yet. So it's nice to see a guy here, but I mean, like, for me, I don't know. Maybe I just think differently. I look at a body of work versus the now. I'm not going to get enamored with the guy unless he's been showing me some shit for several years. You know what I'm saying? And he's been that dude. You know, if we were to bring in a Danielle Hunter, oh, I'm very excited. I know he can get after the quarterback. Damn sure got after ours. You know what I'm saying? If you're bringing me in a premier guy that has a track record that shows me that this is the dude, I have reason to be excited. I have a dude with the track record of barely being able to stay on the field. And yes, he's cheap. Yes, we got him for a steal. All that is well and good. I need to see Chase Young give me some information to have going on the field and playing before I'm about to put all my eggs in one basket. That's all I'm saying. 9 games and then 3 games. You barely cracked double-digit sacks in your whole career this year. And you were the number 2 overall pick. Forgive me if I'm not over fucking joyed. But I'm looking at a body of work that does not state that I need to be overly happy that this dude is here. That's all I'm saying.
All right, man. All right. I guess I'm not excited about this deal tomorrow after you hear you talk, man. But it's okay. I want everybody to speak from the heart and speak the truth. That's what we're here for. It's bringing the heat. So we keep it real here. And let me just address some people in the chat who have been here. We got a 49er bang for life. He says he has more sacks than the whole team. It's a win. I know he said something earlier that he forgot. He said low risk, high reward. He said he forgot my podcast. He said, what's up, 49er? I almost forgot your podcast. Hey, I don't blame you though, because there's a whole lot of 49er podcasts out there and we get lost in the shuffle. I understand that. Sometimes I'll type in 49ers on YouTube and my videos don't even pop up on the search. So I 100% get it. But if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Make sure you hit the like button for this video. We're actually Niner Game Podcast. It's actually streaming on his channel as well. If you guys are watching on Dion's channel, though, jump over to 49er Minded on channel really, really quick, because I set up a poll in the chat. It says, are you happy with the Chase Young trade? So far, I got 17 votes. We should get a whole lot more than 17 votes. We got 27 likes on the video. If you guys are watching, hit the like button, hit like and subscribe. You can jump over to Niner Game Podcast. You got to open up another tab on your laptop and do a like and subscribe as well. But on my channel, make sure you participate in that poll, because we'll read the poll results at the end of the show. And I think there was somebody else that jumped in a little bit later that I'm missing if I didn't shout them out yet, just in case. Oh, Chris Osorno is here. What's up, Chris? Because I'm excited about the Chase Young being a cornerstone of the Niners' foreseeable future, like Bosa. But what good is if it Wilkes doesn't make our if he makes our defense soft? I totally agree. But on paper, I mean, from what I've seen from Chase Young, the guy is built like a Greek god. He's built, in my opinion, better than Bosa. He's faster than Bosa. He looks faster than Bosa. Him and Bosa have familiarity.
Remember
maybe
we played him his rookie year, and
I remember that.
Essentially destroyed our whole offensive.
He was amazing in that game, dude.
He was all
that's
over
why I'm excited about this. That's why I'm excited about this move, because I remember him terrorizing us in that game. There was a play, I believe Nick Mullins was playing as our quarterback because Jimmy was down or whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Mullins. Mullins was in the pocket. He moved to the left. He thought he had some time. And for whatever weird reason, Chase Young was back up in coverage, maybe 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, maybe 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. And out of nowhere, I just see Chase Young go straight ahead like a rhinoceros, and boom, get to Nick Mullins. And I didn't know he had that kind of pursuit, man. It was just crazy. I like the move. He's got familiarity with Bosa. Chris Kocurek is probably the best defensive line coach he'll have in the NFL. Again, it's a great deal in third. But what have we done in the third round? I was making this argument in previous shows. I was saying, because I was pissed off that Ronnie Bell doesn't get any fucking run in any of these fucking games, and Debo's out, and Ronnie Bell should be fucking getting some burn. Some other players, Jair Brown. Are we ever going to use this motherfucker? We drafted him in round 3. So run him off of a fucking blitz. Run him at nickel and do some blitzes. Be creative with the guy. He's not getting on the fucking field unless it's special teams. Well, my point is that we draft players. Oh, we're gonna redshirt them. Oh, we're gonna do this, do that. Like, this is not college football. Like, we're saying we've got the Super Bowl window. You draft guys to make us better year in, year out. Well, I'm pretty sure 1 or 2 of those guys can make us fucking better if they play in the fucking games. So my point was, the past few streams that I made was, if we're not fucking playing these guys, then trade half of your picks, trade 90% or 80% of your picks, and get some known, proven commodities. So hallelujah, we made a deal for the third round. In the third round, we do nothing, and we blow all our picks and do nothing with those third round picks. We finally got a guy who's shown that he can do something. And I know he's been injured and all that, but he's a high ceiling player. For second pick overall, we need help with the pass rush. So I applaud the move. I'm fucking happy, and I think it's going to be successful.
I got a question for both you guys. So, what I heard earlier is the price for Patrick Surtain was 2 firsts. Okay, with our track record on picking people in the first round and having success with them, would you give over 2 first rounds for a Patrick Surtain? If like the money was in the books? Obviously we got a lot of guys we want to keep on the team for next year, whatnot going on. Like, if we were able to do this, maybe Hufanga wouldn't stay. You know what I mean? I don't know what the deal is, but think about that. If you could not have to worry about all these other things, knowing how we draft, would you guys give 2 first round picks for Patrick Surtain?
Man, F them picks. Okay.
Yep.
With our track record, I'm sorry. And I hear what you were saying, Bashar. Yes, with the third round, and the first and third round, we don't look good. The track record since John and Kyle have been here in the first.
You could get another Moody in the third round.
It's pretty trash. Moody. Well, no, I don't want another Moody. Jesus Christ! I need that man to start making all his field goals. Let's start there. But it just, I honestly think that our first and third round we don't do well. So yeah, it's easy to do that. Would I have given up, several picks? Why not? Yeah, I'm getting a generational talent. His daddy was a baller, and he's a baller. Okay, it's just like a couple years. It's just like a couple years ago when we had the opportunity to get Asante Samuel Jr., but we decided that Aaron Banks was the guy, and then we did exactly what you just said. We redshirted him, and I hear you about the redshirting because what happened with Kalia Davis? We picked him knowing he was.
We still
injured.
haven't activated Kalia
and
Davis.
He did that. He ain't done nothing. And everybody was talking all
on the field.
Exactly, and everybody's talking all off season. Oh man, Kalia Davis is gonna be this guy. He's gonna be great.
Do that again, right?
Might get hurt. He needs 2 years to be a big player.
We needed some.
When he got out of his game, he was hot garbage.
Garbage.
Great garbage. But for me, I just want us to get back to the ways that we've been playing before. Let's get some wins in. Let's, figure out what's going on with this offense. And for God's sakes, I echo Bashar's sentiments. Stop getting these players and then sitting them on the damn bench. Ronnie Bell has showed you something. Jordan Mason has showed you something. Why are these guys not on the field?
Yeah, Jordan Mason, that's another. I was saying.
You really think Ray McCloud is going to be more dynamic than Ronnie Bell? He ain't been dynamic since he got here.
I was saying on the previous shows, why aren't we trading for a guy like Connor or even Derrick Henry, some running back? Because Kyle doesn't trust these no-name guys anymore like he used to. He used to trust these no-name dudes like Breda and Mostert.
Bro,
and now he got Mason, and he's just making him ride the
punt. It kills me because Mason is a UDFA. That's where Kyle makes his money. If you look at Kyle's track record with anybody that he's actually drafted at running back, it is horrible. I am talking flat-out failure. Every time he drafts a running back, it is a failure. You ain't seen nothing from TDP. You ain't seen nothing from Trey Sermon. You ain't seen nothing from any other quarterback, any other running back that he has drafted. And those are facts, people. Please tell me I'm wrong. And I want you to show me a running back that he has drafted that's done something, because you can't. I know you can't, because I've done the research. They all fail. So if you want to be a great guy under Kyle Shanahan and you are a running back, come in as a UDFA. It will make your life so much easier. But Mason showing us what he's shown us, I don't understand why you will not let the kid on the field. Elijah Mitchell has given you nothing for the last several years, but yet and still, this man still seems to be the next best option behind Christian McCaffrey. I'm sorry, wasn't it Jordan Mason who had a house call and called that shit and ran right in? And isn't Jordan Mason, technically speaking, faster than CMC? Literally, like foot speed wise, he's actually faster. CMC is more dynamic. He is a better overall back, but I'm just saying, Jordan Mason is faster. You know what I'm saying? And these are things that unfortunately happen. So we've got to get this offensive line figured out. I do believe when Trent comes back, it will help. But now we got a hole at the left guard spot for the next couple of weeks. So we're going to have to figure out some shit and make some things work. And I think Kyle and Steve Wilkes need to get together and figure out what the next best step for this team is to help us start winning games. Because if I'm bringing in a Chase Young and giving up draft capital for him, which, of course, we know that draft capital we don't necessarily do the best with, but if I'm giving up draft capital and I'm bringing a guy in, I want my defense to be able to utilize him to his full potential. If Chase Young is who everyone says he is, and everyone is, and the guy that everybody is so fired up about, then I hope that this defense will allow him to be the dude that he says he's supposed to be. And I hope that what you said earlier, Bashar, comes to fruition. Or no, I forgot
to mention he's fifth in quarterback pressures for the year. So
I don't care about pressures. I care about sacks. Pressures,
I know you like this. He's got more sacks than anybody on our team right now. But
I get it. I've never been a pressure guy.
Pressures and sacks. Pressure. Put those numbers together, and they mean a lot more.
The thing is we don't. For us, we've been creating pressure, and we haven't done much with it. So,
hey, for the love of God, man, Symmetry's talking about most.
I haven't seen too many people free running in their backfield. I see people pushing the lineman back, making the quarterback have to move side to side or up in the pocket. But I am not really seeing a lot of free rushers like we've normally seen. You know, guys with their hair on fire. And there's
we got to switch it up. We got to run some stunts and twists and something, man.
Exactly.
We got to switch it up, because what we're doing right now isn't allowing us to get to the quarterback the way that we should, especially with the guys that we have on our line. We should definitely.
Can I speak to Jed York real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jed, I want you to listen to this real quick. I need you to take this all in, turn off your phone, do whatever, just uninterrupted for a second, and just really need you to get this through your head. It's really hard to break your penny loafer off in someone's ass when you just extended their fucking contract. Okay, you can go back to it.
about Kyle.
Oh,
I
God.
saw people on Twitter saying, "Oh, Kyle's on the hot seat. John Lynch is on the hot seat." And I was like, did you miss the extensions of these two guys, Kyle?
I have told everyone they have full. Listen to me, people. Though I may not like the things that Kyle Shanahan does, I know he's here for the foreseeable future and not going any damn where. Don't think I'm dumb and don't understand that. That doesn't mean I'll stop. I'm not.
So he's
I'm
been
gonna
crowned.
stop riding. Yeah, I'm not gonna stop riding
He's
his
been
ass when
pumped.
he fucks shit up. And if he does
He's been
something
crowned
stupid,
royally.
but he's bro. According to Jed York, John Lynch and Kyle can do no wrong. You know why? Because they literally gave up on a dude they traded too much draft capital for and got away with the shit. Hey, and if Jed York is cool with that, he is the owner. He can make that decision. I can't say nothing. So it is.
You know
what
why?
It is
Because
on
it's
that
not
list.
Trent
Everybody
Baalke
says
Not
they
like
kept
and
Kyle
it's not
and
Chip
John,
Kelly.
and they're
You are
making
going-
money.
Yeah, if you don't like Kyle and John, you are going to just be an unhappy camper because they are here to stay. They are not going anywhere. And I can tell you right now, if in these next 6 years we do not get a Super Bowl ring, if in these next 6 years we don't get a Super Bowl ring and he extends them again, he's going to look even more stupid because
He's gonna be a
know what I
20-year
get?
head coach.
you know what I get flack for all the time? People get mad because I won a Super Bowl ring and I'm tired of waiting. And I get frustrated with the fact that every single year we're competitive.
We're at the doorstep. It's not
I
just
don't-
competitive. We're at the
I think-
doorstep.
Yeah, but my thing is, I don't give a fuck about being competitive. I give a fuck about getting the job done. That's the point. It's nice to be competitive. It's great to remain in the conversation. But you know what I want? I want what they have in Kansas City. I want the competitive with the chance of a Super Bowl ring to go along with it. I don't want to just
You want
be
Taylor Swift?
No,
I want
fuck
what they
that.
got
I
in
don't need
You
that
say you want
bullshit.
what's in Kansas City.
I want the
You-
trophies
no,
case
no.
they got in Boston.
Let me clarify. I don't even listen
Plus
to Taylor
one.
Swift, bro. The only song I know from her is "Bad Blood," and that was only because it featured Kendrick Lamar. That was
No,
literally.
I know about
I don't even
Shake
know
It
that.
Off.
I don't even know that song. I know "Shake It
You
Off."
know
that's
about
it.
Shake It Off.
I mean, I've heard the song
Shake,
before.
shake.
Yeah,
You
but that,
know
that-
it. Yeah.
I don't. But I don't.
Ryan's a
My
fan.
thing is, I definitely don't want her around my team because I have no aspirations to have a walking board around any of my players. I'm sorry, that girl too
I'm
skinny.
more,
She
I'm
way.
more of an, I'm more of an Ellie Goulding type.
You know, I mean, you gotta have
Ariana
me-
got some songs too, but
Who? Please don't
Ariana-
talk about
Ariana
Ariana
Gould, the
Grande. She
fucking
looked like
actor.
a whole child.
Like who?
I mean,
I'm
she
not
looked like a
talking. I'm
12-year-old.
talking. I'm talking about her songs. I'm talking
Who?
about her
Oh,
songs.
yeah, no,
just
no.
strictly on the music. But I'm more of a Ellie Goulding. She's a British
I don't
chick.
even know who that is.
Yeah, you'll have to hit me to that person. I don't know who that is.
Hey, really quick, I do want to drop some shout outs to
She got
some
some
people.
good shit.
Yeah.
Left some nice compliments and some comments. Terradome's here. He says that hot seat for Kyle is frozen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Great point. Let it go.
He ain't tripping.
Yeah.
His seat
Go
ain't
on our
never
hot
hot.
seat.
It's lukewarm.
Val Ramos is here. Says Rams. Talking about the Rams. He said what's up earlier though. Shout out to him. Been a while since I seen you. Edgar Scully is here. Says 49er players have an opportunity to appreciate their talent, applicate their talents. They need to. They better get on it. We got some people passing out Halloween candies, watching the show in between. And one of them, Laura, she said, Bash looking like John C. Riley with a chain on. Yeah, she said, she said she was handing out candy in between.
All right,
Appreciate
all right,
you.
Bash. I got you right now. I'm gonna interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah, we're best friends, man.
Nah, man, you didn't do it right.
I
You
forgot.
Yep. You want to go in the garage and do karate? Yep.
I'm not good with those lines.
It's the Step Brothers.
When it
bro.
comes to lines from comedic movies, I'm more old school, like the Billy Madison type era, Half Baked type era, like
who
going
doesn't love
that
Half
far
Baked?
back.
That was actually one of the most
Dion.
underrated comedies of
I
all
love Half
time.
Baked.
It's
I love Half
hilarious.
Baked. Half Baked's one of my favorite movies, dude.
Dion,
I love it.
how questionable is it that you're just gonna go and be best friends with him after he just put his nuts on your drum set?
You know, sometimes you got to forgive a guy, man. You know,
Yeah,
you
but
gotta
that's a
forgive
much.
guy.
That's a little much. Too far to go back.
The Gambler is on
You
my
got to forgive a
Facebook.
guy, and you got to disinfect the shit out of your drum set. That's all I'm
Because
saying.
the Gambler says breaking news: Richard Sherman signed a 5-year contract deal for defensive coordinator. It sounds like he's blowing smoke. He's very comfortable in the announcing booth on Thursday Night Football. I love Richard Sherman as an analyst. So I think he's hilarious. I think he's informative and entertaining at the same time. He's great.
Oh yeah, man. Wait, Sim said, did he wipe it off?
What does it mean? To wipe it off? What's he talking about?
The stepbrother,
the nutsack.
Okay.
Fucking George said, man. But yeah, I
Dion and Bashar will be making bunk beds later.
Yep.
I have seen those video memes where they have the where it was like Kyle and Jimmy and they put like their faces over those stepbrother scenes or whatever. I remember them.
Bro, they do stuff like this all the time where they put them in memes, and some of the memes I'm like, yo, they okay, Kyle ain't that
like
dude.
The video memes. Those are pretty funny. Yeah.
There's some memes that I see though where I'm like, yo, Kyle ain't that dude. Don't put him out there like he a gangster like that. Kyle not that dude. Don't do
There's
that.
somebody else that said what's up on Dion's chat. You guys could talk for a minute.
I can only see the comments that come in.
Yeah, it was a name. It was really hard for me to say as I was trying to find it because he left a really good comp. Here he goes. This guy right here. He said, "I love the show. Keep going." I can't say this name.
Yeah. He's cool, man. Yeah, he's
Tad Daz or I can't say it when he has a read, but
he's got the accents on the bottom and the top. So
yeah.
What's up, Ryan?
Yeah. I'm wondering if your last statement was 100%. You said Kyle isn't gangster. I wonder if he's in a room full of people in polos and button-up shirts and dress shoes. I'm sure he acts pretty gangster.
Oh man, Kyle, look, man. I'll say this.
No, I'm saying.
There's little situations.
I'm saying.
Kyle will flex here and there, man, but he
got the Yeezys.
Symmetry, man, nobody care about no whack ass Yeezys. Never bought a pair of that bullshit. I don't waste money on those things. Never have, never will. I'm sorry, I'm not about to spend that kind of money on shoes. I'm a cheap bastard when it comes to my clothing, so I'm not gonna spend.
I got it, Ross.
$700-800 on some damn shoes. You out of your fucking mind? That's ridiculous.
I bought me some nice Romeos that you can take the soles off of. You spend money and send them in and take the soles off, and they essentially like refurbish the whole thing and send them back to you for like $40-50, right? So it's like a $90 pair of shoes, but then and then you can go send them off when it gets all messed up, and they'll
I've never heard of this shoe.
So it's your same pair of shoes.
I'll look into it. I've never heard of it.
They're like the slip-on shoes with the elastic on the side, the leather on the outside. You seen the Cowboys wear them? They're hella comfortable.
Okay, that's not bad. But hey, man, how we looking on that poll, man? What's that poll look like? I'm pretty sure it's lopsided for everybody being happy, obviously.
Yeah, let's take let's take a look at the poll because we got 24 votes. I was expecting more votes. Because sure there's a whole lot more people watch on both channels, but I'm gonna close out the poll right now. Actually, it's 83% to 17. So the question was, are you happy with the Chase Young trade? 83% say yes, 17% say no. So I'm gonna end the poll right there. And third round pick, it's not much for a capital in terms of all the other picks that we have. If we let him walk and we don't sign him, we get a third round compensatory pick in 2025. So it's almost like a free trial, like a free win.
People, I'm not mad about the trade.
Have to be fine.
I am continuously, cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to jump on the gravy train and be overjoyed until I see him produce the way that he should be producing. The 5 sacks that he had with the Washington football team is fine, but I need him to come here and give me another 5 sacks here. And I need it to be in consecutive games. I don't need it to be all in one. I don't want him to pull the Drake Jackson where I thought Drake Jackson had a breakout year.
Drake Jackson,
he had 3 sacks. I was like, oh shit, he's on his way. And next thing you know, he done disappeared off into oblivion.
He bamboozled us, man. Correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't you a USC fan, Dion? Or are you not? You're not. You're not I know you're from LA, from the LA area, but are you a USC fan?
No, I'm a UCLA guy.
Okay, my bad. Okay.
Hate USC with passion. Their quarterbacks suck ass in the NFL. You don't believe me?
What about Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams, he gonna suck ass too. He's from USC. I don't care how good he looks. He's gonna be. This is the thing. The last USC
Yeah, you're right.
quarterback,
The uniforms look a lot better.
to be honest with you, I'm gonna tell you right now, the best USC quarterback to come out of recent history was Mark Sanchez. People
He
don't
had
people
two
look
nice
at me
play-
and they
he
go,
had two
people
nice
look at me and they
playoff
go,
runs.
no, it's Carson Palmer. Let me tell you what Carson Palmer did. Carson Palmer got paid. Carson Palmer did things, but he ain't been in 2 straight AFC championship games. Mark Sanchez did. I don't care if he rolled the Jets defense to it. So did Jimmy G. He rolled our defense into a Super Bowl. At the end of the day, when you the quarterback, you get fucking credit. Mark Sanchez went to 2 AFC championship games. That is a lot. That is a lot more than any other USC quarterback can say in recent history. And those are facts,
Carson-
people, not to be disputed. That's
Carson
literally
Palmer not
that's
making
literally
no
the truth.
network money.
And the only reason that Kyler Murray got back on the field is because he ain't want them to go pick Caleb Williams and wind up shipping his ass out of town. That's literally the only reason Kyler Murray ran. If Caleb Williams wasn't playing, Kyler Murray would have sat on the sidelines for 4 more weeks and chilled out because he know that Josh Dobbs' weird ass ain't taking shit away from him.
Josh Dobbs
But-
got traded to the Vikings.
Hmm?
You know
He
about
already
that?
prestiged
He what?
10
They traded-
times, and he wasn't
traded
doing
Josh
anything else,
Dobbs
so
to
he
the
decided to go back.
Wow.
Josh Dobbs with the Vikings, man. Mhm.
So who the hell is they backup quarterback? The
I don't
town
know. No idea.
This is gonna be like the water boy. They're gonna start experimenting with
Bobby
motherfuckers.
Boucher.
Just throwing the janitor and anybody in. It's just gonna be people that just come hang out. And just all
Okay,
right.
okay. So we got it from a 49er fan / USC fan. He says, yeah, you do got a point. USC's my team, and they not ever known for quarterbacks as defensive wide receivers.
That is true. That's correct. It's defense.
Hey,
wide receivers,
hey,
and
speaking of
sometimes
wide
offensive
receivers-
linemen.
Speaking of
Once
wide
in a while,
receivers.
you get a good couple of offensive linemen from SC. But
Oh,
I'm
they do
sorry,
got good
in the
linemen. They got good
NFL,
linemen. D linemen.
in the
offensive
NFL, their
linemen.
quarterbacks just don't succeed. And I'm
I
not
want-
basing that off my hatred for USC. I'm basing that literally off the facts. Tell me a USC quarterback that has won a Super Bowl. I'll wait.
Convenient fact.
Listen,
Convenient facts.
the wide receiver that I want from USC, who we probably have a good shot to get if we play our cards right. I don't know if Kyle wants him though. Is Brendan Rice? I want Jay Rice, the son, on our team.
I want Frank Gore Jr. on our team too.
Okay,
Have you
Frank Gore
seen-
Jr. Okay,
have you
okay.
seen
I've
Frank
seen
Gore
him.
Jr.?
I've seen him.
Frank Gore Jr. is a monster at running back. That kid is
I'll
a
take him.
savage.
I'll take them both just off principle, off a GP, off a general
Facts.
principle.
Straight
I'll
up.
take them both.
We'll get both. Get both. Hey, Frank Gore works for the organization now, so if he's available in
There
the
it
draft or whatever, they'll
is.
probably get him. Or UDFA, they'll definitely get him.
Look, hey, look, Sim. I'm sorry, man. I mean to dampen your mood there, brother. He told me that he was happy that I made him sad. Sim, you're
Hey.
such a good human being and an awesome father. I never mean to make you sad, my brother. You are too good of a
I'm
person.
missing this comment that you're talking about.
Never let my cautious optimism dull your moment of happiness. Be happy that Chase Young is here.
I was
want
happy
him-
that DM.
Yeah, he's
You were about to make me sad for a minute. I had to psych myself out, and come up with
He
some,
did.
some
You did. You psyched
angle.
yourself right
I had
out
to
of
come
it.
out with some
Let me psych
angle
it up, too.
to switch it up and be like, "Hey, Kyle never plays his rookies. Blah blah blah. Let's trade for some known commodities. Let's do this." So at the end of the day, we don't have a crystal ball in front of us. None of us are
Yeah, we
Nostradamus.
won't
so
know. We won't know.
as the old cliche
Cautiously
goes,
optimistic, people. That is me.
that's why
Cautiously
they play
optimistic.
the games.
Not gonna jump out. Not jumping over the over the rainbow with this, but I'm cautiously optimistic right now. He said he did. He said I'm eating ice cream on the sofa. You wrapped up in a blanket too.
All
I
right,
can't
we
do
got a
it
follow-up
right now,
question now.
man.
What brand and what flavor?
No symmetry messing with me right now, man.
What brand? Oh, he's not really.
I see. No, I see. I see.
Oh,
what
he's saying about the
doing.
tears. Okay.
Tears. All
Yeah,
tears.
I got
I
you.
can't deal with it right now, man. It's all right, man. Look, I'm not gonna give you a hug. I'm gonna give you a high five there, brother. There you go. You're all right.
Okay.
You're
All right, gentlemen, we've been on here for an hour and
Yes,
20,
sir.
almost an hour and 25 minutes, longer than I expected, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been awesome. So at the end of the day, we made a move. A lot of people were saying we're not going to make a move. We got our hands tied behind our back and we do nothing. So we did make a move. It would have been nice if we made 2 moves, but we didn't. I get it, but we'll see how it plays out. This team has to regroup and do their soul searching and find a way to start getting their W's on the board. And that's the bottom line, because Bashar said so. 49er Minded said so. The
right.
Gambler says Do you think we will turn everything around and bounce back and win this versus Jack? Hopefully, yeah, man. Jeez, man. If we don't, then things aren't going to look good. That's for sure. So what do you got going on your channel, Niner Gang Podcast, or on other people's channels? Anything you got going on in the YouTube universe? Let them know.
I'll be doing probably a preview show for the Jags game. We'll definitely check in with that and see what's going on. I'll see if I can holler at my young boy, Deshaun Dixon, and see what he feels about this game. He is number 47 for the Jaguars. He is a backup defensive end. So I'll see if I can get him to come and hang out and talk some trash about the squad and, go a little back and forth. But we'll just be doing that. And I don't mind hanging out with everybody, man. Just hit the like and subscribe button for Bashar, same for Ryan with No Border Sports. These guys do fantastic work. I'm just appreciative that they called on me to come on the channel, man. And don't let what flatulence abound. What the fuck is going on?
I don't understand these comments. I don't know.
I don't know what's happening there, but that's all I got.
Lactose intolerant. He's lactose intolerant.
Oh yeah. Then you farting up a storm over there, brother. Yeah, you letting it rip. I feel bad for your couch cushions. They're dying right now.
All right, so get the Gambler. Thank you, bro. I know I know you on Facebook. Says just subscribe to the Niner Game Podcast and No Border Sports. Yeah, normally the Bring the Heat podcast, it's a rotational type of podcast where it's Mariah hasn't been able to come on with us as of late. Maybe next week she'll be able to join us. But Mariah's channel is 49 Faithfully Podcast. I put the link in the chat. Ryan's channel is No Border Sports. And every week we have the Bring the Heat podcast on Tuesday at 6:00 on a different channel. So it's on one of the three channels, basically. My channel, Ryan's channel, Mariah's. So, and our special guest today was Dion from Niner Game Podcast. If you're not subscribed to Niner Game Podcast, just jump over there. His name's going to show up really quick right here. Niner Game Podcast. You'll find him easily on YouTube. You can subscribe to him. And he's very opinionated. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. And yeah, so, that's why I like it, though, because you may not agree with things that he has to say all the time. And I agree with a lot of things he says, but sometimes I don't agree. But at the end of the day, we're not here to agree with everything that we all say because then we'll be boring. And, we won't have our...
It would not work.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, we would all respect each other's opinions. So go ahead, Ryan. Tell them what you got going on No Border Sports.
So tomorrow, I got a show with Joe Stevens at 6:00 on his channel, Seahawks Talk with Joe Stevens. Then we got Corey Lockdown Davis.
Seahawks.
Oh, it's going to be a great show. We're going to be talking about all
I
sorts
have to say
of
the
stuff
boo for the
going on
Seahawks.
with both teams. But then we got Corey Davis Lockdown. Corey Davis Lockdown, the Pick'ems show. And then we got Thursday Night Football. Friday night show. Come check us out.
Appreciate
the love, Kev. If you guys need somebody to do sign language or translate, we can hit up some captions later on the post production for that part. I was going to say,
just be listening closely and don't worry about that.
I've been saying, Niner Game Podcast, Dion, on your Instagram, you've been doing some like voiceovers or some comedy type
reels,
videos. One day you were just like doing all these different, because I used to work in a call center. I used to manage a call center. And one day you were just straight up doing all these call center type videos. I don't know if you worked in a call. I think you have worked in a call center before.
I currently do.
Okay. So that totally took me back to my days when I worked at one. and you were doing different voices and different characters of how each character answers the phone in those call centers. So if there's ever a day where you get inspired to do so again, you should hit those. You should try to make those videos again. And
I'm gonna continue to do that, man. I got way more coming when it comes to that stuff. I'm just starting to get the hang of the reels and remixing stuff and all that stuff. So it's definitely gonna come through, man. I just I commentate on different shit. I like doing it because I'm good at imitating voices, making up characters and stuff like that. So people sometimes, I literally probably could get on YouTube and ask people to just ask me to imitate anybody, and I could probably pull it off.
I like that too. I can do a lot of impersonations, but probably my impersonations are different than the ones you do.
Yeah. Like me, I like there's certain.
You can do Snoop Dogg. You can do Snoop Dogg.
Snoop. Oh man, Snoop. Yeah, but he.
Give everybody a Snoop Dogg. Give everybody some Snoop. Talk about the Talk about the 49ers with some Snoop, and then we'll close out the show.
Let's see. Yeah, cuz I've been watching the 49ers for a minute, man. And, cuz they just ain't doing what they need to do. They out there, they balling. Brock Purdy was out there looking real great, you know what I'm saying? And Purdy out there, if you hear me, nephew, go ahead and give me something. Give me a couple of wins. Give me a couple of dubs in the, in the right win column, man. We can't have these losses out there, cuz.
All right.
I just a little bit of Snoop, but
that was good enough. That was good enough. That was good enough for this show. Again, thank you for everybody who's been watching the show. Appreciate you, 49er Bang for Life. Good to see you back here. I said we're going on a roll. I have a feeling we better go on a roll. We have no other choice. Shout out to Ryan for No Border Sports. Shout out to 90 Game Podcast, Dion. Shout out to Mariah, 49 Faithfully Podcast. I know you'll be watching the replay if you're not watching right now. Hopefully we'll have you back on. If she's able to stream next week, it will be on her channel. Otherwise, it should be on No Border Sports channel because we rotate channels back and forth. And again, appreciate all the participation in the chat on both channels, 90 Game Podcast and 49er Minded channel. You're not subscribed to one, subscribe to the other. Hit like on the other video if you haven't hit like on the other video for already, whatever channel you're on. Thank you guys for jumping on the Bring the Heat podcast on the 49er Minded YouTube channel where we get into the minds of 49er fans on a Halloween Tuesday. Keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded. At the end of the day, it's Bang Bang Niner Gang. Happy Halloween, everybody. Let's go. Woohoo. Come on, 49er fans, let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yeah, yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.